academic and civil.
Making sure that you're the owner, identify the phone and unlock and all such things, but the team is going to assist you there. So, ladies and gentlemen, there is a constant message that has come out throughout this conference, which deals with the success of the skills revolution that depends on the active participation of industry. So while the formalization of employer commitments will continue beyond this conference, today's discussions have already highlighted the critical areas where industry can contribute, including apprenticeship placements, TVET partnerships, and funding for workplace learning opportunities. The session, therefore, serves as a call to action for employers across all sectors to strengthen collaboration with government, SETAs, and training institutions in expanding opportunities for young people. I will move over with speed to the item for the WSZA Alumni Declaration. I just want to check if the colleagues are in the room. All right, I'm notified that you are here. So what we'll do, ladies and gentlemen, is that we'll follow the similar approach that we followed for panel 7, where I will call on stage Dr. Pito Keza, who is the Deputy Principal Academics for Lephalale TVET College. That is the chairperson of panel 8. While she comes on stage, I will also call upon the members of the panel. Mr. Mihle Mvelakubi, who is an alumni, Mr. Azanda Zama, Ms. Kiabetswe Moloi, Mr. Kanyu Fuhani. I was expecting to see the colleagues making their way onto the stage kindly. I'm not seeing any movements, and I'm starting to wonder if colleagues are here. Oh, thank you very much for that. Ms. Nobuhle Mutlane. I'm not sure if Ms. Gaugelo Choke, you are here. If you are here, please also make yourself available and you come on stage. I was told that you may not be here. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for the chairperson of the WorldSkills South Africa and the panel members that are making their way on stage. So what we'll do is that we'll allow Ms. Kiabetswe Moloi to do a declaration. Once she's done, she'll then hand over to Dr. Pito Keza, who is the chairperson of the panel. So as the colleagues get mic'd up, just to introduce this session, colleagues, it is alongside the industry commitments that have been made throughout today, where we also recognize the voice of young artisans that remains central to the WorldSkills movement. And it is for that reason that we are then welcoming again on stage the chairperson of panel 8, Dr. Pito Keza, and the panel members that I have mentioned. Perhaps we can just give a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for that. May I then hand over to Ms. Kiabetswe Moloi for the declaration, and then you'll hand over to the chairperson. Thank you very much. Yes, that would be very kind. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kiabetswe Moloi, and I will be reading the Alumni Declaration. We, as the alumni of the WorldSkills South Africa, recognizing the values of skills, excellence, and the impact that WorldSkills has had on our personal and professional development, collectively commit to the following: ambassadorship for skills excellence, We commit to serving as ambassadors of Skills South Africa by promoting the value of technical and vocational skills, aspiring young people to pursue careers in skilled trades, and advocating for the importance of skill development in South Africa. We commit to the mentorship and support of the current and future competitors. We, as the Alumni Committee, to raise these challenges. We will share insight and contribute constructively towards improving the systems, structures, and programs of WorldSkills South Africa. As the alumni, we pledge to uphold the values of discipline, professionalism, innovation, and excellence that define the WorldSkills movement, and to contribute meaningfully to strengthening South Africa's national skills development agenda. I thank you.
Soft as the voice of an angel, breathing a lesson unheard, and hope with a gentle persuasion, whispers her comforting word, whispering hope and whispering hope. Oh, how sweet thy voice, making my heart in all its sorrows to rejoice. Upon arrival in the High Court of Law in the context of South Africa, you will agree with me that they refer to a female magistrate as my lady, and they refer to a male magistrate as my lord. And with the same level of respect, I want to say good afternoon, my ladies, and good afternoon, my lords. The fundamental purpose of the existence of the TVET colleges in South Africa is to transform the individuals to highly competent workforce to respond to the manpower demand of various sectors of the South African economy. This notion propels the TVET sector to the notion we refer to as academic excellence, which means when it comes to teaching and learning and the effective management of the curriculum, we are found neither wanting nor limping. And this commits all of us in the TVET sector to the education, success, and socio-economic transformation of all students, irrespective of their age, irrespective of their gender, irrespective of their sexual orientation. And in concert with our mission as the TVET sector to help all the students to grow intellectually, we also foster their holistic development. I'm using the word intelligence very well aware that there are philosophical debates pertaining to the meaning of intelligence. But in the TVET sector, we have agreed that intelligence means the ability to reason or to apply one's mind in various contexts of our lives, the ability to solve problems never taught to solve. When it comes to leadership, lifelong learning, as well as civic responsibility, we quest for absolutely zero defect. And the TVET sector does all this particular means to ensure that upon conferral of the qualifications or awarding of the certificates for which our students decided to spend some time in our sector, they consequently lead very responsible lives. And I can bear testimony that they exit our college possessing functional knowledge and reflective competencies, entrepreneurial skills, as well as integrity. My favorite dictionary is the Concise English Oxford Dictionary, and it defines integrity as honesty. But that is where I disagree with my favorite dictionary and various encyclopedia. But I understand because they define from the lexicographic point of view, but we define it from the empirical point of view, thus checking how it applies in our everyday lives. So the TVET sector has agreed that integrity means the ability to do the right things even if people are not aware that you are doing the right things. Our students possess functional knowledge. If you do not believe me, let us put them to a test. Once again, good afternoon, my ladies, and good afternoon, my lords. Mr. Zama,
I don't think so.
Mr. Zama? Mr. Zama?
Yes.
All right, wonderful. I am now audible. Mr. Zama, I want to start with you, sir, and just to take you back from what has been asserted in this conference, that there is a mismatch between the TVET education outcomes and the expectations of the industry. In what ways can we bridge this existing gap between the TVET education outcomes and the expectations of the industry?
Okay. Greetings, Chair, my fellow alumni, and all the highly esteemed guests of the Assembly. All protocols observed. Okay, my name is Azanda Zama. I competed in Namibia in 2022, representing my country in web technologies. So to answer you, Chair, the way that we can actually contribute to preparing these people for that step is having us, like I am here with my colleagues, the alumni, people who have gone and competed internationally. We know how far the bar is. We know how much we lack. And I believe if we are put in that middle ground, we can prepare the next generation of leaders to excellence. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Madam Moloi, you will introduce yourself first, but I just want to check with you from your experience. How does the participation in the WorldSkills competition contribute to the raising training standards within the TVET colleges, apprenticeships, and industry training programs?
Thank you so much for the question, Chair. Personally, I think that we need to implement workshops where the alumni can, one, play a role, right, in the training of lecturers according to the WorldSkills International Standard, right? And then I think we should also maybe consider offering the alumni, or rather giving the alumni the access to having training to be facilitators so that they can be there during the courses that the students will be going through with their lecturers. They can get facilitator certificates where they'll be able and be qualified to work together with the lecturers in educating the students, but while implementing the WorldSkills standard. Because the college teaches students the basic skills needed in the particular field that they are in. And then some of the students are sent to the workplaces to be exposed to the industry standard. But there's a difference in industry standard. There's a difference between industry standard, the college standard, and the WorldSkills standard. So I personally believe that if we implement the WorldSkills International Standard to our TVET colleges, we give students a higher chance to getting jobs on a national and international scales, and also giving them a chance to be able to open their own businesses.
All right, thank you very much, madam. After you have introduced yourself briefly, Mr. Fulani, I want you to respond to us to the concern that the institutions of learning are worried that the industry is still largely invisible in the curriculum mapping as well as TVET planning in general. In what ways can we involve the industry in the activities that will help us to produce artisans for South Africa.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Kanyo Fulani, and I would like to say good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am a qualified diesel mechanic of the 21st century. Where I work, I always tell them that I participated in WorldSkills under a skill called heavy vehicle technology, whereby I showcase the skill and the intelligence that I have learned from my TVET colleges. But also us as the alumni, we have learned a lot from the competitions that we had overseas in terms of the structure of learning and also the intelligence that they are using. I'm speaking about their infrastructure is way advanced. So I want to say, together with my alumni team, that our Department of Higher Education and Training can assist us in this manner to make a relationship and a bond to private sectors, that they must come together and give us attention, because we have what they need and we have what South Africa needs, especially those children that are coming from disadvantaged families, who are coming from villages. They can learn a lot, and we have the capability of bringing and explaining and also showing them as the living people of this WorldSkills organization that we can do it and we can help them be advanced in artisanal skills, and we can assist to explain in terms of also opening businesses that will hire and also help our department to grow in terms of job opportunities, in terms of showing them that it is the thing that South Africa needs, and it is very important that they partake and assist to give us the opportunity as the youth. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you very much, my good sir. Madam Mutlari, beyond the technical preparations, what form of psychological support, professional support, and institutional support should be introduced to improve competitor performance and well-being throughout the entire competitions?
Thank you, Chair. My name is Nobuhle Mutlari, and I competed in France in 2024 under the skill Health and Social Care. Thank you for the question. One of the most important ways in which we can help our competitors to be ready psychologically is to have structured one-on-one sessions immediately after the competition. We need to create an environment for our competitors, because counseling is continuous, and we need to build the resilience and grow them and prepare them mentally, because competing at an international stage is not only about knowing and doing the skills, but you also need that mental strength and resilience. So we could have structured one-on-one support that should begin immediately after the announcement of results, so that we will be able to identify the children and the competitors that are at risk of mental burnout or that have psychological problems other than the competition, because we know how distracting it can be to be suffering from something while still being expected to focus mainly on competing and representing your country. We should also introduce an alumni and peer support programs, since we as the alumni have been in the international stage and we have experienced the pressure and everything that comes with it. We can have peer-to-peer supports, share our experiences, build and create that sense of community and belonging, and create that resilience and help them to be prepared for the international stage. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you very much, Madam. I'm coming to you now, Mr. Mvelakubi. After you have introduced yourself, I want you to give us a perspective looking back at the different WorldSkills competitions that have taken place in our context. What are the most important lessons? What are the most important lessons that should inform future direction of the WorldSkills South Africa?
Thank you, Chair. Greetings all. My name is Mihlem Velakubi. I am a bricklayer by trade. I competed at WorldSkills Abu Dhabi in 2017. I am now part of the alumni, and also I serve as a WorldSkills Champion Trust representative for Africa at WorldSkills International. To answer your question, sir, thank you very much. Firstly, I think we have to enhance support structures for competitors, particularly the psychological support. When you go into the international stage, you need to be mentally prepared, because if you are not mentally prepared, once you start the competition, you will break down. Once you have the psychological support, then we need, as the country, to unite as a team. Once the team is united and also the competitors are comfortable to communicate with their experts, to communicate with any team leaders, that creates the sense of comfortability to open up to any problems as a competitor that you may have, even during the competition or even in preparation. Secondly, I think we need to also utilize the alumni as ambassadors of the movement. And also, once we have utilized them as the ambassadors of the movement, we also need to use them as mentors to the competitors. We have experienced the international stage. We know the experience that these guys are going to be facing when they get to the international stage. So we are the best people to comfort them, to mentor them, and guide them into the international stage. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my good sir. Mr. Zama, I'm coming back to you now, and I want to check in your perspective, in what ways can various stakeholders conceptualize 4IR, or rather the fourth industrial revolution skills, into training of the artisans?
Okay. Am I audible? Okay, great. So we have to understand, where are we sitting in terms of 4IR? When I was back in school, I was in high school, I knew that we are at the level where we are literally just coming out of people who used to manually do things in the workshop to machinery, automating that process. Right now, we are in a pivotal time where AI is the new big boom. We have things just like your narrow AI, your general AI, and your super intelligent AI. I believe if key stakeholders and investors could look in to helping us as the young ones to integrate these things into our various skills. If we can integrate things like AI, like I was seeing the other day, people have even integrated AI to the way you sleep. You put a headband, that headband kind of measures the waves that you need to enter that state of sleep. So that is also innovation in itself. I believe that if anybody who is here, who's present, who has the power to make those decisions, invest in us. Us as the alumni have these kinds of experiences. We will be able to make those decisions which shape the future of our next up and coming artisans. So I really do believe that we do possess the talent. It was never a talent kind of thing, but it was more kind of a thing that we need that kind of support and structure for those people who are equipped with this knowledge. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you very much. Madam Moloi, previously you talked about the WorldSkills competitions. I just want to check with you. What improvements do you think are required in the training preparations and mentoring systems to ensure that the South African competitors are well prepared for the international competitions?
Thank you again for that question. I'd like to introduce myself. I did not do that. My name is Muloi, and I competed in Beauty Therapy 2024 Lyon, France. So basically, I think we need to strengthen the preparations of the competition with specialized coaching. We need updated equipment, right, as competitors, that is up to the industry standard on an international level, right, that meets the international benchmark, as well as develop structured mentorship while making sure whenever a skill needs a machine, tools, and equipment that is not accessible to us here in South Africa, the WorldSkills is able to supply this to the competitors and to supply it on time while that is so that when they get to the international competition, the competitors are not faced with the challenge of competing with machines, products, and equipment that they have never seen before. Because this is something that happens, and unfortunately, they face the unfortunate ridicule of working with equipment they have never seen before, that they have only heard of. Or maybe they've only been familiarized with it on familiarization day. This creates a disadvantage to us as competitors from South Africa, because we are not given the equipment and machinery and the tools that is accessible to the competitors from outside of South Africa. It's not given to us immediately. So we are here to also request that, or rather to make sure that whenever a competitor needs a certain machine or tool, it is given to them at the correct time. This gives the competitor a fighting chance by giving them everything that they need to train. We also need to pair the alumni with the current competitors, offering guidance and industry insight. Let the alumni share their expertise and experiences with the competitors and train them, help train them on an international level. So we basically are saying that we need to start with them from local to provincial, to national, into international. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dr. Fumlan, from where Memoloi has left it, I want to check with you that what should be the priority actions that should actually emerge from this particular conference to ensure that we strengthen the apprenticeship as well as the industry participation.
Thank you very much once again, Chair. I like it that the department has already created platform like COS, which we have partaken in to become the 21st century artisans. And they've introduced some devices in some of the skills which we are doing. That also gives us an advantage of learning and know what is happening in the industries out there globally. So I think the Department of Higher Education and also the private sectors, as well as the SETAs, can come together and invest more, meaning trusting us that we could also assist them in preparing the young ones who are coming, and also make it loud in terms of social media and making it aware to also motivate young ones to join these types of programs. It helps so much to see the development that is happening. And I would like to say the department to continue also making relationship internationally with the countries that are developing and making machines that are being used in the competition, and also take the alumni us to global stages to learn and understand, and also give us an opportunity to create our own in terms of since while we are artisan and we are working with hands, it will also help us to know and develop our own machinery that are in the same standard as theirs. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Madam Mutlare. From your side, what should be the strategic role of the WorldSkills South Africa Alumni Association in contributing and strengthening the national skills development?
So our major role as a formal alumni committee would be, number one, to hold the people accountable. We cannot have a government that sends students or competitors to an international competition every year, but they use the same training system, but they expect different results. So the first thing we will do as an alumni committee is to make sure that we scrutinize our experts, we scrutinize our training system, because we need to have changes. We are going to international stages and we are exposed to all of these things, but when we come back, we are neglected and no one wants to hear our opinions or our experiences. So having a formal alumni committee will assist the government in, number one, understanding the equipment that are there, the type of tools that are needed and how best they can assist the competitors. Because if you want different results, you need to at least have a system that holds people accountable. You need to have a system that will make sure that performance is tracked and it's monitored. So if we come back to the competition after the competition and no one is asking us anything because there is no formal alumni committee, then there won't be any change in how the competition results become.
All right. Mr. Mvelakubi, you may add there.
Yeah, may I quickly add on what she has said? The department, WorldSkills has been coming quite a long time in South Africa, and we have been exposed to advanced international standards and the tools that are being used internationally. We are already aware of them. So what WorldSkills or the departments need to assist in making our competitors also advance in terms of their training and in terms of the competition itself is getting the relevant tools that are used on the international level so that they can practice with them, with those tools that are used in the international level, and then when they go to the international competition, they are already familiar with those tools.
Wonderful. From your response, then I just want to check with you the type of, or rather the types of reforms that are actually required to strengthen the link between the WorldSkills competitions as well as the apprenticeships led by the industry.
Thank you for the question. Firstly, I think we need to ensure that the TVET curriculum is relevant and responsive to the change market demands. That's the first point. And then the second point, we need to establish formal partnerships between competition organizers, like the WorldSkills competition organizers, and the industry to align the skills test with apprenticeships outcomes. That will also greatly assist, as well as, let me make an example there. For example, the competition that we participate in the international level, it is advanced, and we need relevant sponsors to get the relevant tools and equipment. Should we get those tools and equipment into the TVETs that we are at, it will greatly advance our trainings.
Thank you very much, sir. Much appreciated. Mr. Zama, 1 minute closing remarks from your side.
Thank you again, Chair. So my closing remarks is that you've heard all of my colleagues here, the former alumni. We are in a position where we are ready to take over and transform how students go from competition and transit into industry. We have raised some very solid points, and we believe that this message is going to reach who it is intended for. My closing remarks is that I just want to note one speaker pointed out that yes, in South Africa, we are focusing more on consumerism. The alumni is here to highlight that we have those skills, that we can build an economy that does not focus on consumerism, but we build, we export, we show the nation, we show the world how great we are. We are of that caliber, and I believe the only thing we are short of is a platform. Thank you.
Madam Moloi, 1 minute closing remarks.
Thank you so much. In my closing remark, I'd first like to state that the alumni, it should be and it will be the beginning of a big change that is needed within the WorldSkills competition. It will play a big part in the selection process of provincial and national experts. This is to prompt the minds of everyone that is present today, including the sponsors, and that they need to hold the necessary people accountable and ask why and how are the experts and people that are of the WorldSkills selected, and ensure that the criteria is strict and adhered to at all times. If changing the curriculum will be something that would take the government maybe years or even longer, then let's start with implementing training in our institution for all our current lecturers so that they can receive training and WorldSkills International at a WorldSkills International standard, so that they can later go back to their lecturing classrooms and teach students according to the WorldSkills standard. This should give our students, whether they're going to be part of the WorldSkills competition in the future or not, a fighting chance in the industry that they are particularly working in, to be able to work and qualify on a national and an international level. Thank you.
Mr. Fulani, 1 minute, closing remarks.
Thank you very much, Chair, for the opportunity. I want to say to South Africans is that we are a solution to the problem that we are facing. As I'm sitting here, I'm saying that we have the skills to do what can assist South Africa in terms of, for example, we can build areas in rural areas that provide skills in terms, for example, let's say mechanic, hospitality, cooking industries, and we can work in those industries and make sure that we produce criteria that are linked to the colleges in terms of the standard that they are using and the module that they are using to suit the learners who are partaking in terms of artisanal skills to get their trades properly, because of we understand the challenges, we understand the ways of learning the skills and how to qualify. So I would like to say the government can assist us, and also the sponsors, and also the private industries to help build each and every province maybe one industry that can produce jobs, that can create things. For example, in Northwest, we can build an area whereby it provides mechanic in terms of those cars that are there and the mining equipment that they are using. They can be serviced and given new look in the workshops that are run by the competitors, by the alumni, and would also help to develop the artisans easier. And it also gives the best standard that is equal to the global. Thank you.
Madam Motlhari, 1 minute, closing remarks.
Thank you, Chair. I think I speak for all alumni if I say we are truly grateful for the platform that we were given. However, we would like to request WorldSkills officials to at least organize a post-mortem for alumni, which should be done after every competition. But since that hasn't been done, we would like to have one, especially starting from now. And I believe that if we truly want to advance the work of WorldSkills and strengthen our skills system, then we should be willing to reflect critically on how, number one, we structure and support the program. The one most important thing that we all share sentiments is we need to re-evaluate the criteria that is used to select national experts and key support personnel involved in the competition preparation. It is essential that we appoint individuals who are not only technical experts, but people who are competent and suitable for the specific responsibilities and mentorship roles that will be required. At the same time, we need to establish clear frameworks for accountability and performance monitoring. Such frameworks will ensure that support structures are aligned with the goals of the organization. WorldSkills is not just about the competition. It is about building a strong skills ecosystem, empowering young professionals, and positioning South Africa to meet the demands of workforces. So we're pleading with officials to use us as alumni because we know what the competition entails and we have first-hand experience. So we would like to contribute to the training system of these young competitors. Thank you.
Mr. Mvela-Kubi.
Mine will be a call to action. It is a plea to the government and to the policymakers. Our educational system, like they've said on the previous panel, there is a little bit of, the linkage has a bit of a problem. Talking from my experience, transitioning from a school of skills to a TVET college, I come from a school of skills and I couldn't go into a TVET college. I had to plead, I had to cry to get into a TVET college. Now, I would like to ask the government to update or to change or upgrade the educational system from early stage, from the guys that are from School of Skills. If I wasn't at a School of Skills, I wouldn't have been sitting here. It's because of the skill that I have that I was able to even compete into the international competition. So the guys that are at the School of Skills also need this type of opportunities. They must not be left behind. Thank you.
My panelists, my message to you is withhold not good from them to whom it is due, when it is in the power of thine hand to do it. And say not unto thy neighbor, go and come again, for tomorrow I will give, when thou hast it by thee. Devise not evil against thy neighbor, saying he dwelleth securely by thee. Strive not with a man without cause, if he have done thee no harm. Colleagues, King Solomon wrote in the book of Proverbs because he was not aware that the WorldSkills South Africa would one day come into existence. So he wrote, the words, go to the end, thou sluggard, consider her ways and be wise. Having no guide, having no overseer, having no ruler, provideth her meat in the summer, and gathereth her food in the harvest. How long shalt thou sleep, O sluggard? So if King Solomon was aware that WorldSkills South Africa would exist today, he could have written the words in the book of Proverbs, go to WorldSkills South Africa, thou sluggard. Consider their ways and be wise. In the names of God, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, I thank you.
All right, thank you very much to panel 8. Ladies and gentlemen, sisesonke mos. Ne. Thank you very much for your patience. We are drawing to a close for the day. I know that in line with the program, it's 16:05, yeah, surprisingly on my watch, and that is exactly the time that we're supposed to call it a day. I just noticed yet we were supposed to. Please, I beg for your patience. I'm informed that the DM is in the vicinity. She may actually walk in any time from now. As we wait for her, just 2 things from my side. Well, 1 from my side, and then I'll also allow the acting DDG skills, Mr. David Mabusela, to engage the room on a number of things. As the alumni panel was on stage, I received 2 questions which are really a call to action, ladies and gentlemen, to all the employers in the room and those that are online. The questions read as follows. What are the opportunities for the WorldSkills competitors on the world of work? And are these former competitors working? As I said, this is really a call to action. It is not necessarily for us to engage. For the colleagues that were here, the panel 8 and all the other competitors that were in the previous competition, it is also a call for action for those that we are getting ready for some time in September this year. I will then allow Mr. Mabusela to come on stage. I do believe that I will come on stage as the DM comes, and then I can do official goodbyes. Please, as I said, we beg for your pardon. I promise you DM could be walking in any minute from now. Thank you very much. Over to you, Mr. Mabusela.
Good afternoon, colleagues. I know it has been quite a long afternoon and a long morning. But whilst we're waiting for our principals to come through, I'd really like to just pass some few remarks and also some acknowledgements. In the format of the WorldSkills International, you would know that it seeks to integrate both the competition side of things as well as the curriculum translation of what is happening on the WorldSkills side. That was the debate here, largely, that was carried by quite a number of delegates to say, now that we have WorldSkills South Africa, now that we have going to have WorldSkills International in China, what do we do thereafter? Are we just about competitions only? What about our TVET curriculum? Now, critical issues were raised here with respect to the essence of this engagement. And primary to those, it was institutional integration. How to integrate now the best practices that we learn or that we discover at the WorldSkills with our own curriculum dynamics in the country. How do we then go about doing that? How do we integrate the global standards and make them our benchmarks so that we can participate at a toe-to-toe level or at an equal level with our international partners? Now, a number of delegates here, they've raised issues or challenges that confront our TVET colleges. Amongst those, it is infrastructure transformation. From yesterday, actually, up to today, Speakers have spoken about digital transformation, and they have quite indicated to say that makes no sense if you make it complex. Why don't you make it simpler? And at the same time, why don't you then attach it to infrastructure that speaks to that transformation? So those are the issues that confront us as TVET. And also the increase of the pipeline now, the artisan pipeline, how do we then increase it within the realm and the standards of WorldSkills International? How do we then, what is notable, delegates, about artisans is that principles remain the same, but then thereafter what holds principles evolves. If you speak, for an example, of electrical trades or electrical engineering, you will define, the definitions will remain the same. If you speak of voltage will remain voltage. If you speak of resistance will remain resistance. It's a principle. But then thereafter, as we evolve, what other new dynamics relate to that voltage? What other new dynamics relate to that resistance that you're talking about? What new other dynamics relate to the current that you're talking about? That is the essence of the WorldSkills. Hence today, delegates are talking about digital transformation, but at the base thereof, you still have the same principle as discovered that govern how, for an example, electricity conducts, how light, light current supports heavy current, how light current support digital electronics, and so forth. So basically, the challenge that is facing us as TVET colleges practitioners is how do we then integrate these salient principles into our curriculum. And also, what was key from quite a number of participants, it was employer leadership to say, maybe that this juncture came at the point where we never realized who must do what at what time and at what point. So delegates were quite clear here to say employers, by virtue of their disposition at the coal face of industrial revolution, they are supposed to play a critical role in indicating to all of us, all and sundry within the PZ sector, to say how do we then translate, or how do we move throughout this value chain of industrialization and revolution? So those are the issues that we need to confront and also explain the essence of the social compact as it stands currently. Organized business needs to come into play then to basically then address those issues which are confronting us. So those are the issues that really faced us within this conference. Now, having kept you colleagues for the TM to then come through, we'll then give over to the program director then to welcome the the Deputy Minister properly, and then thereafter she'll deliver her closing keynote address. Once the Deputy Minister has pronounced, she has pronounced. Thanks, colleagues. Over to you. Yeah, you'll do that as a program director.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Mabusela. Colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, with all protocol observed, may I kindly ask that we rise and appreciate the presence of the Deputy Minister of Higher Education and Training, Dr. Nomusa Dube Ngube. I can see that she's making her way to the stage. I would have thought that, thank you very much. You'll just give a round of applause, and I was also briefed, DM, that someone will introduce you. Now that you are here, ladies and gentlemen, the DM says that she needs no introduction. She is ready to address you. Please, DM, just allow me 1 minute to, and my apologies, I just realized that you are still standing. 1 minute, as I said. Okay. DM says you may be seated. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, for the energy that you have demonstrated, the engagements, meaningful engagements that we've had for the day, the support that you have provided to me as your program director for the day, from my heart to yours, thank you very much. I will not be coming back to the stage. I thought I should just say proper goodbyes as I hand over to the DM. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Program Director. My apologies that you still needed to introduce me, but I've been to the stage for such many times now. I'm sure colleagues are tired of introductions. But allow me to once more acknowledge the WorldSkills International President, the Portfolio Committee members, the Director General, as well as the DDGs of the department, the acting CEO of NSF, the President of SAPCO, President of SAVETSA, our delegates from our beautiful African continent, and the senior executives from the department, as well as from our entities. Also allow me to acknowledge all our keynote speakers, our presenters, our panel facilitators, our industry players, our business sector participants, but all our esteemed representatives from the industry, our CETA CEOs, CETA management, CETA chairs, organized labor, leadership from the organized labor, the principals of our TVET colleges, our universities, our CET colleges, all the officials from the department, and all of you, ladies and gentlemen, a good afternoon to all of you. Allow me to really conclude this landmark gathering by saying that over the past 2 days, the WorldSkills South Africa National Conference had stood as an intellectual, robust, strategic platform for national dialogue, convened under the theme, Building a Skilled, Competitive Workforce for the Future. It has moved us beyond discussion towards deliberate actions in advancing South Africa's skills revolution. The program director has just said right now that it's been such an enriching session in the past 2 days. And we have not merely convened as a conference, but we've also engaged in a national dialogue about the future of South Africa's skills system. We have interrogated funding models. We have challenged the systemic blockages in the apprenticeships. We've debated some of the quality assurance programs, explored the economic cases for apprenticeships and artisan development. We have examined how global benchmarking can sharpen our domestic reforms. And above all, we have reaffirmed a singular truth that South Africa stands at the threshold of skills revolution as directed by our President. In his recent State of the Nation address, he called for the Department of Higher Education and Training to accelerate the skills development as a central pillar for economic reconstruction, industrialization, and inclusive growth. The debates that followed the SONA were robust and rightly so. South Africans are asking whether we are moving with sufficient agency to address youth unemployment, whether our training systems are responsive to industry, and whether we are producing the artisans at a scale, at a quality required by the national development plans. But also, the industry has been asking us whether are we producing the kind of the young people that can be placed in the industry because of the relevance of the skills that they have. So this conference has demonstrated that the answer lies not in the rhetoric, but it is structural reform that needs all of us. WorldSkills South Africa is a strategic reform instrument embedded within the PSET aligned to the National Apprenticeship and Artisan Development Strategy and the NDP for 2030 target and producing the 30,000 artisans per annum. The WorldSkills 2030 strategic plan makes it clear that competitions are not the end. They're not the end to a means to the end, but they are something that needs to be a benchmark platform for us to work towards. They are a laboratory of excellence. There are also instruments for occupational standard improvement, facilitator development, and industry alignment. When we strengthen WorldSkills South Africa, we are strengthening the entire PSET ecosystem. When we train facilitators to global standard, we raise the classroom quality. When we benchmark against the 89 member countries of the WorldSkills International, we sharpen our competitiveness. When we support alumni into employment pathways, we convert medals into livelihood. And when we centralize excellence through the establishment of the WorldSkills Academy, we institutionalize reforms. And I think it's all these issues that we are talking about that we have engaged over the past 3 days or 2 days that now needs to form the practical plan of action moving forward. The establishment of the WorldSkills South Africa Academy should be something that all of us need to look at, not just as the structure, but as part of the structural instrument for transformation for us to be able to organize apprenticeship and artisan excellence in this country. We need to be able to ensure that all these organs within the department, across the department, within the industry, we all talk to one another. We need to ensure that we modernize trade testing system, introduce emerging trades such as robotics, renewable energy, and digital fabrication. We need to provide year-round access to global standardization training facilities, serve as the national anchor for benchmarking against the WorldSkills occupational standards, and we need to centralize specialized equipment for maximum sectoral benefit. And in the context of recent SONA debates, where questions were raised about the implementation gaps and the infrastructure readiness, the Academy answers with the institutional certainty. It is a practical, it is measurable, and it is reform in action. So, ladies and gentlemen, from our side as the department, we have stressed, and I have made this point, that we need to bring together all the various branches within the department. Be they the university branch, which needs to inform the kind of the research that needs to come into our WorldSkills and the skills area. We need to bring universities to be able to support the work that we are doing. We need the TVET branch of our department. We need the skills branch. We need the CET branch. We need all the branches within the departments to work together if we are to achieve the ultimate 2030, which aims to train facilitators through structured programs within our system. And there are no aspirational statements that can make us to reach the indicators and align with the DHEAD outcome 5. It's only a high quality, responsive, and effective skills development system that will ensure that indeed we reach the outcomes that we want to reach as the department. So from our side, the political significance of the WorldSkills South Africa must not be underestimated. In a society grappling with inequality, unemployment, and spatial exclusion, artisan development is social justice in action. Every apprenticeship contract represents economic inclusion. Every trade test passed represents restored dignity. Every young artisan placed in employment represents a family lifted out of poverty. This is why the skills revolution is not only economic policy, but a nation-building project that all of us need to internalize, need to understand, and need to put into action. And I need not to also emphasize the point that we have been putting again on the agenda as the department, the international partnership, and how our international partnership can also make us benefit within the WorldSkills. And we are, as the department, trying to coordinate our international partnerships so that it focuses us into the areas of demand of the country. Unfortunately, so far, this area of international partnership has not been coordinated amongst the SETAs and amongst the country as a whole. The President has given us, as the Department of Higher Education and Training, he has given us an assignment to make an audit for the whole of government, all government departments, to make a report to him within a few months on what are the international partnerships that are there in every government department, what scholarships are there of international scholarship, what bilaterals, multilaterals that are there from every government department nationally and in other spheres. And we are going to be doing the same within DHEAD and its entities as well. And I'm sure you would have seen the communication that would have come from our international partnership branch. So the debates in this conference reflect a maturing policy environment. We are no longer asking whether apprentices matter. We are asking how to remove bottlenecks, how to align incentives, and how to scale quality delivery. And that is the progress that we'd like to see. We have also heard from our international partnerships, and I wish to express a profound gratitude to our colleagues from Brazil, Austria, Switzerland, and beyond, who have reminded us that excellence is built on standards, partnership, and consistency. South Africa does not operate in isolation. Through WorldSkills Africa and WorldSkills International, we are part of a global community committed to elevating vocational excellence. Our benchmarking is not symbolic, it is transformative. As we conclude, allow me to reflect on the alumni declaration presented today. You are not merely former competitors, you are ambassadors of a new vocational identity. You personify the dignity of skilled work. You are role models in communities where too often artisan careers are undervalued. You are the face of skills revolution. You are the benchmark by which we wish to measure ourselves. So colleagues and ladies and gentlemen, the theme of this conference, building a skilled and competitive workforce for a future, is not a distant ambition. It is immediate mandate for all of us. Let us leave this conference with 3 commitments. First, to accelerate apprenticeship, reform and remove systemic barriers that delay artisan certification. Second, to strengthen industry partnership so that training remains demand-driven and employment-linked, not to train so that people can be certificated, but to train because it is industry-driven. Third, to institutionalize excellence through the WorldSkills South Africa Academy as the national catalyst for benchmarking, innovation, and lecturer development. The skills revolution is not a slogan. It is a structural reorientation of our economy towards production, craftsmanship, innovation, and competitiveness. WorldSkills South Africa stand at the center for transformation. So, on behalf of the Department of Higher Education and Training, on behalf of our Minister of Higher Education and Training, Minister Manamela, I wish to thank all the organizers of this program, the Director General and all senior managers in the department, the panelists that participated and prepared very thoroughly for their participation, our seaters and organized labor, our industry partners, our TVET principals, our international delegates, all our entities of the departments that have participated, and those that have been here as sponsors and mentors and judges and adjudicators, and all those that have supported the program to be a success that it is. And to every participant who had contributed to the richness of this dialogue, we really wish to thank you on behalf of all of us as the department, as a team, for all the work and all those contributions. And I want to assure you that all the deliberations that have been made here, we are going to be reflecting on them as the department, and we have been already discussing our way forward and how we are also going to be reflecting even on the competition and looking at some of the weaknesses that we have also experienced, some of the suggestions that you have given to us, and we are going to be reflecting on all of those and seeing how we are going to improve moving forward. So let us move from this conference resolutions to implement with discipline. Let us move from aspirations to measurable outcomes that will be seen and felt by the communities. Because we always say, whatever we do as the government is got to translate to the lived experiences of our communities. And when we do that, it's only then that our people will see what we are doing and they will feel what we are doing. Let us build together a skilled nation that is capable of competing with the best in the world. And as we go forward to competing with the best in the world, let us all carry those young people, support them, mentor them, motivate them, but most and everything we know, as we said at the beginning, that umuntu ngumuntu ngabantu. As we build our nation, let's carry each other and support one another and ensure that our country moves from where we are. But we can only do that when we hold each other's hand and when we implement what we say we are going to implement and move forward. And we wish to thank you once more, each and every one of you, and most of all, our international delegates as well. As you travel back, we wish to thank you. We also know the engagements that we've held with you We are going to continue with those engagements as well and hope that we will continue to build a better skilled nation, a capable, competing with the best in the world. Thank you very much. Oh, so I must say that concludes this part of the segment of the conference. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have Leni Magagula please coming forward. You lost your hotel keys. Leni Magagula, if you are still here. Thank you. Oh, great. Thank you.